Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Debbie Pixton with the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm interviewing Christian Kratsas, the Director of Marketing at Touchtown. Thank you so much for joining us, Christian.
Thanks for having me.
Christian, tell me about Touchtown and your role there. What do you do as Director of Marketing?
So Touchtown is essentially an internal communication engagement platform for retirement communities. So think 55 and up, really independent, or anything from assisted living, memory care for those with dementia and Alzheimer's, skilled nursing, higher levels of care, and so on. So it's the platform connects residents to each other, as well as the greater community around them. And it connects them to family members and loved ones outside, so they know exactly what's going on with their mom or dad, and can kind of learn more about the community in which they live. So my role is to support a small team in the development of the story around our brand. It's really like who we are and what we can do for a senior living community. And it all turns into our brand and the way that people think about us in the market. And part of the kind of the challenges and also the excitement of it is establishing like who we are right now, but also thinking in the future of who we need to be as the market always changes, as competition changes, and we adapt. Especially in a pandemic, you can obviously assume how much has changed. And so it's always adapting, kind of pivoting and switching. And most know that marketing is about communication, but a lot of it is succinctly talking about how we are unique to our competition. So we try to talk through the problems we're solving through the voice of the customers and our stories. And it all kind of relates back, just, kind of put a bow on the point. And the major responsibility of my role is making it really simple to understand all of those benefits. And again, the outcomes, what we can do for that customer.
Christian, how did you end up as the Director of Marketing? Can you tell us a little bit about your career path?
So I was pretty lucky to find my passion earlier on. I went to the University of Pittsburgh and actually started out in engineering and took this kind of psychology class that morphed a bit of psychology with design. And you learned a lot about how you can persuade through different visuals and different messaging. And I really caught on to that. And ended up actually switching my major, and the rest is history. Pursued several internships, as most college students do, try to take one each year. And in marketing, leading up to like a marketing leadership role, usually the path consists of specializing in different areas. So think about social media or video marketing or paid advertiser, PR, and so on. And so a lot of it is kind of specializing in functions, different functions, until you like reach what I would call like a critical mass, like having enough knowledge to know what's possible. And that's kind of how I fell into this position, and still finding my place 5 years into the role. And you kind of learn something new every day and never be bored. And as long as you think about that at the end of each day, then you're doing it right.
What has surprised you about being in marketing that maybe you wouldn't have expected as a student in high school?
I guess what surprised me is that there's an emphasis on importance to just ship something. And what I mean by that is, when you think of marketing, you think it's so buttoned up, it's so professional and polished. It's the ads we see, the billboards, anything that goes on TV needs to be perfect. But there's a lot more to that, where it's just getting a message out there, getting content out there, and constantly iterating on it. So, it surprised me that businesses kind of gave the autonomy to the marketing department to, hey, do us a solid and talk about our brand in the best light. And we trust you, and what you're going to put out there isn't always going to be gold, but it's important just to have something out there so that people start to develop their own perception. Because you or I aren't going to remember an email that hit our inbox 2 weeks ago that maybe missed the mark or wasn't so clear to kind of the value that the business was portraying. So yeah, I guess surprisingly, it's just that, the importance of marketing is just constantly ship, get content out there, because there's a lot of noise out there, and it's kind of the only way to break through the mix.
Christian, what are some skills that are really necessary to be good at marketing?
There's many hard skills that are directly related to marketing, but it's really just the basics of doing a good job, the basics of any good job, and that's organization, obsessive detail. I guess that's not every job, but for marketing, obsessive detail, really poring over the details, whereas your eye is just quick to pull something out, to pull out a grammatical error, an issue with some sort of imagery or design aspect. And then part of it is task management. So, a lot of these things are just part of if you're doing a good job in any type of function. But, they all come together as there's many projects that are parallel, that are overlapping. There's different people and functions that connect to each other to get something out the door. Like when I say it's shipped, if you're shipping a website page or something, you may have 5 people working together. So task management is, as you can perceive, very critical in that aspect. And then there's some people that just aren't passionate for what you're selling. That's okay. It's get your foot in the door, something that you like, that you think an idea is good, and then you start to get really passionate about what you're selling. It's a really important skill, because you need to buy into it first to be able to sit down and write out, the right messaging around it, because you're literally inspiring people to buy it. And so you need to be bought into it first. One of the things too to know is that you need to be okay with scrapping work, with failing forward. We may build things, we may have content, we may have an entire marketing campaign develop, and there is just a pivot and a change, and boom, that thing gets just thrown in the proverbial internet wastebasket, and so you need to be okay with scrapping that work, with failing forward, and continuing to move on, because not everything you're going to create is going to ship.
Can you talk specifically about how your role in marketing intersects with healthcare?
So I guess that, the work that I do and the work that my team does and company does, it really supports healthcare workers, the work of caregivers. There's life enrichment teams, nutritionalists, physical and occupational therapists, and there's so many people involved in a retirement community, in a senior living community, in improving the independence of our aging population. And so even though marketing is like this like minute part of it, it's really the entry level to the awareness of this platform, to somebody discovering this platform, so that professionals in the healthcare space, when they're actively searching for solutions to the many challenges they have, especially now more than ever, they find us. And so it's really empowering to be able to create that story, get it out there, so that the people on the front lines can find it, and they can find a solution to their challenges, their problems. And what's even more fulfilling is that for Touchtown, the solutions we manage and we build a brand around as marketers, they support the most vulnerable demographic. And again, in a pandemic, communication is essential. So it's up to us as marketers to get the story into the right hands, and then talk about what happens when people do adopt the technology. Talk more about how the healthcare workers' day job is much easier, that residents fall less, that there is a reduction in social isolation because residents are coming out of their rooms more, or if because they're confined to their rooms, there's a means of digital engagement by way of a mobile app or internet TV in the room, where everybody can do everything virtual. And so, all of that lends to the independence of 60 and up population. And so, all of that starts with discovering a platform that can do so, and that's a bit of the marketer's job to do that.
Christian, if I have students who are interested in marketing or a similar career that supports healthcare, what kinds of questions should they ask themselves to know if that's going to be a good fit for them?
There's more to it than hospitals and doctors' offices. And then I guess getting to the question is, did you exhaust all the possibilities? Did you think of everything outside of that? You're not just thinking, a billing specialist at your local community hospital, or a website platform for specialty practices. Think of anything, and kind of do your diligence and making sure that you exhausted all the possibilities. It's easy to kind of get stuck in the hospital / physician realm, there's an entire industry dedicated to our aging population within a community setting. And before that, I didn't know that existed as much as it does. So did you exhaust all of your possibilities? And in the spirit of entrepreneurship, if you didn't find it and you think there's a challenge out there and no one solved it, then go start it. Start your own company.
What's one piece of advice you would offer to students who are interested in pursuing a career like yours?
Biggest piece of advice I'd give is to just get in. And it's really tough to get stuck on what is my perfect first career, or even second, or even third, and perseverating on the details of hey, I don't know if I love their mission, but it looks like I get to work with a team and I can learn from X, Y, and Z. My biggest piece of advice is just get in there. If it's something you like and you feel like you can have that learned passion, like I mentioned earlier, then you can start to uncover what you don't like about it. And that's almost even more important than finding what you do like. And so you figure out what you don't like, maybe that's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I don't love writing. And so I think I'm going to go more into the digital side of website design. And you figure out what you don't like, you move it out of the way so that you can focus. And you keep refining what you do each day. Every day you kind of move those things out of the way that you don't love. And if they're part of your core responsibilities, then you need to figure out if that's the best place for you. But again, it's get in, figure out what you don't like, get that out of the way so you can really refine and come up and with your passion, arrive at your passion.
Christian, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us today.
Sure thing.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!